Welcome back to BluTeeFuil. First episode of 2025. Let's go. Today we are talking about 1981's Heavy Metal. Legit, one of my biggest surprises of 2024. Didn't know one was coming. Popped up on Amazon. I have not seen this film since pre-legal drinking age, probably. I was pretty excited about it. Packaging was pretty cool. One of the things I did not know about this release, just a quick heads up, it actually comes with the Blu-ray of Heavy Metal 2000, which is a really nice addition when you consider the price of this. In Canada, it was floating around $40, so I'm assuming in the States that's like 7 cents. I want to talk a little bit about the film, and then we'll get into the actual restoration, how it looks, all that sort of stuff. Heavy Metal was one of the most infamous and influential fantasy magazines of all time. Featured a bunch of different short stories from writers that would grow into all kinds of different lanes, whether it's novelists, film writers. Very adult, violent, sex-filled, so naturally young male population at the time gravitated to it, became a huge success. Beautiful illustrations, artists from all over the industry as well. And this film, the fact that it even exists is pretty mind-blowing. The amount of people involved in this, from a directing, an animation, the soundtrack to this film, talking Sammy Hagar, Nazareth, Ronnie James Dio, just to name a few. Stevie Nicks, I think, is on here as well. Top to bottom, the production, the money that went into this film is nuts. There's, I think, 5 short films, some better than others, obviously. All enjoyable, ranging through all spectrums of fantasy with an underlying narrative of this evil orb. Though that doesn't really make much sense, and who cares? There's semi-clad women riding dragons. If you love animation, like I have always loved animation, whether it's classic Disney, the insane range of storytelling and art styles that you'll find within anime, which is why I think it's one of the most affecting storytelling mediums out there. This film is an absolute time capsule and a love letter to animation. How well it's aged is mind-blowing. Some of the segments, the influences, the very first segment, it is clearly a main influence for Luc Besson's Fifth Element film. It's all over it, from the style to the main character, everything, even the unknown object that they're carrying. More than that, as you move through, there's even more influences. And every time a new amazing 80s song hits, just gave me the feels. If you've never seen this film, but you love animation, I think you'll love it. If you've never seen this film, but you love 80s films and fantasy, and maybe even just a mix of hair metal, you're going to love this. Like I said, I came into this not having seen this in a very long time, so everything was fresh, and about 5-10 minutes into this 4K, I audibly said, holy crap, this looks good. It is an unbelievably polished restoration. You could tell, much like the love that went into crafting the film in 1981, the people involved in this restoration took it very seriously. It sounds amazing. It looks amazing. You can see just the love of all this hand-drawn art, some of these beautiful backgrounds that make these characters pop. The voice acting is phenomenal. An absolute like I said, surprise. This is just one of those films from the company, not through a boutique label. Just one of these companies deciding, hey, the fan base is there. Let's give this to them, see what happens. Some really cool features on here as well, like a little bit of a retrospective on how it all came together. Some of the stuff they actually pulled off is pretty crazy. Then, like I said, the packaging was really good. Cover, obviously classic Heavy Metal cover. One of the short stories, most infamous, segments on the back. The fact that it came with the 2000 sequel, if you will, did not know that. And I figured it was a good time to talk about it. There's actually a Kickstarter going on right now to bring the magazine back. And I think it would just be an absolute smash. People will love it. The absolute over-the-top, unbridled nature. Look, this is an adult film. There's sex, there's violence. This is very much an animation for adults. And if you saw it when you were younger and you've kind of thought about revisiting it a few times now that you're, grown up, do it. You won't be disappointed. There is so much to love from a nostalgia standpoint, but just the art form in general. It's a really good movie. And I think there's a lot of folks that look back on it now as kind of just this teenage boys wet dream fantasy type thing. Which, okay, not entirely wrong. I think it is one of my favorite fantasy films. I guess it's an anthology, so you call it what you will, but I think it's one of my overall favorite fantasy films in general, but definitely one of my favorite examples of that medium back then. The film itself, I would give it an easy 8 out of 10, just based on everything now looking back. I think that's fair. But the actual restoration, this is going to be a 9 for me, because the sound, the picture quality, the packaging, darn near perfect. Great job, film company, throwing this together and just throwing it out there for the anniversary. And if you haven't got your hands on it, it's still out there at a really good price. So